I know. Teresa wasn't going to see your view.
I don't mean to laugh. I know what you're gonna do, girl.
We're starting.
Well, I didn't hear the gavel. Well, I haven't had the gavel yet. I'm letting it. And I will stop talking as soon as that is done.
Bad corner.
All right, good evening. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Hampton Township Council for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. We will start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Here.
Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley?
Present.
Mr. Sholey?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Present.
All right, the first item on the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held Wednesday, January 28th, 2026, and the agenda meeting held Wednesday, February 11th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor for the 28th, abstain for the 11th.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item on the agenda is citizens' agenda matters. If anyone has anything that they would like to address to council, please step up to the microphone and state your name, your address, and your concern.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Potter. I live on Shady Crest Lane. Just wanted to lift up a concern that me and my neighbors have regarding a possible walking path and things that are happening in our neighborhood behind us. And so just have concern, not exactly sure how it came about. The way that we as the neighbors found out is there were people walking through our yards, putting up posts and surveying the land, and had to go out and ask kind of what was happening. And then through some research, we found out that there's a proposed walking path that's coming in. And so, first of all, I'm not sure why we as residents didn't know what was happening. So that was a concern of ours right away. And then wondering where we are with that and why that's happening and how it's happening. Those kind of things are questions that we have. I don't know if they can be addressed now or going to be addressed later. But a number of different questions we have with putting anything back there. Is our understanding it was green space. Many of us moved in because we thought it was green space back there and there would be no developing that were going to be happening there. I know we've got a radio tower back there that is certainly a concern. As I don't think that they were consulted. Well, I know they weren't consulted. I talked to them today about that, and they are not in favor of having a walking path or anything for a number of different reasons, and some of the same concerns that we have are the concerns that they have as well, with vandalism and privacy, and I can go through a number of different things. And so yeah, just wondering, that's certainly a concern that we have. We would like it to be addressed in some way. Not sure how that can be addressed, but and certainly if this is going forward, we as the neighborhood and residents would like to have a voice or a presentation in that in order to be heard.
Yeah, certainly. In terms of the project, it was identified, it was the Northwest Trail project. It was identified in the Township's Implementable Comprehensive Plan. So that's sort of the genesis of it, which...
And that area was
Yes,
designated
on that property, yes. What you're seeing...
Who's the one that made that?
The plan?
Yeah.
It was it was done through the township. Pashuk was the consultant, but the comprehensive plan is, truthfully, is a document from the residents. It's there's a lot of public involvement with it. I mean, I was not here at the time. I can't speak to who specifically brought up that area for trail development.
So the neighbors were consulted in that area?
No, what he's saying, we had a steering committee that was made up of residents, business owners, and other representatives from the township, including members from the zoning hearing board, the planning commission, the school board, the school district, EAC, I don't even remember who else. And over the course of several months, that project included interviews with residents, surveys that were put out, that were filled out by residents and businesses, and we developed a certain set of goals, and one of those was connectivity. And so during that process, areas of the township where connections could be made were identified, and that was one of them.
Yeah. But what you're seeing now is simply surveying work, early, sort of like feasibility work to determine if a trail back there is feasible, and if so, what the route of it would be. Part of the reason, yes, absolutely, residents will be consulted. Part of the reason, though, what I always find is, if you go to residents and say, hey, we have this idea, you get a bunch of questions of, well, how are you going to do it? And if you don't have those questions, there's no point in even going to people beforehand. So the goal, so what's going on now, you're seeing Gateway Engineers, their surveying team back there looking at whether or not it's feasible, what potential routes are, so that we can come to meet with the communities back there and say, hey, look, this is what we've determined if we did a trail, what the routes would be. I mean, the ultimate decision of that, there's no construction dollars in it for this year. It's simply at this point in the design phase, and the ultimate decision on whether or not we do it's a budgeting matter in later years and an action of council at that time. But the residents themselves are, I mean, we're going to meet with you. We just want to get answers first before we, and have a plan first before we meet with you, because there's no point in doing that otherwise.
So, and environmental studies being done as well on that? That's a concern of,
The engineering firm would look at stormwater runoff and anything like that. I don't know if they're doing any geotechnical work offhand, but, you know, it's, we're talking about is more of a walking trail, but if you,
It's more of a natural walking trail. There's
Yeah.
no impervious surface like asphalt or anything involved. It's just like a natural with maybe some wood chippings.
are they talking about lighting as well?
It's
No.
nothing like that.
no, it'd be similar to trails you sort of see in North Park if you go, you know, off into the natural areas there. That was actually kind of the model that we talked about, yeah.
And part of that study is that there is a need for that, or it's just something that would be nice?
I mean, if it's a project identified in the comp plan, you know, we do tend to try to, I mean, the whole point of a plan that's sort of the vision of the community, that's developed by the community,
Sure.
is, you know, should we proceed with this? So, yeah.
So what you're saying, there's going to be opportunity for
Yes,
discussion?
absolutely.
And our voice to be heard?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We just want to make sure we, you know, have something to bring to you before we just say, hey, here are some drawings from a conceptual plan, and you're all like, well, where's the route?
Yeah, it was just our
Yeah.
concern.
Oh, no, it's fair.
With people,
Totally fair.
you know, just things happening behind our house and
Absolutely.
not knowing what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right, appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Maureen Law, 2617 Law Road. I just wanted to refresh my memory. How do we get on the agenda in case we would like to present something to the township a little more formally than just during Citizens Matters? I forget how we do that. Is there a form online that we pick up to do that?
Susan, can they just contact you to get put on the agenda?
Yes.
Mhm.
Usually it's citizen agenda matters if somebody's bringing it to council.
Yeah.
But we have had specific agenda matters before.
Yes,
Yeah.
and what it's regarding.
Okay, so if we prepare something and we give you a thumb drive to put up here, because we just want to make sure before this goes any farther, that you're aware of, that everybody's on the same page, because we have seen drawings. We've seen drawings with etchings in yellow of places where people will access these trails. It's not just a concept for us, okay? This is not my backyard, it's my front yard. And,
Of course.
I gave you a copy of an aerial view. There was no etchings. You don't have any drawings of where.
Someone
the
has a
trail.
picture that has that's circled in yellow with little lines that are drawn where access points are.
Yeah, we saw something like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I haven't
Well,
seen anything like
Yeah.
that.
So, do any of you have that with you? Anybody bring it?
I think there was something that I had given you, but that was just like a schematic, like just
Yeah.
a rough, very rough.
Of this is the
drawing.
area that
It's
we're looking
nothing.
at.
No, it was more than the area. It had like a yellow outline of a trail inside of the area. And then it had little yellow squiggles coming off of it where maybe people would be accessing that.
Mhm.
So things are getting out there, bits and pieces are getting out there. And we would just like the opportunity to
No.
bring our collective thoughts, have some time to organize and show you what our concerns are. So, how again do I do that?
You contact Susan.
Just contact you?
When are we planning to even have that on the agenda for council?
Several months. I mean, yeah, I mean, in terms of like the design the Gateway's doing, it's gonna take them months to complete that. Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, I would agree. It would probably take a couple months for them to do, like a draft proposal of where they're expecting to put the trail.
Yeah.
And then it'll go for council review. Then we're looking to have a meeting with all of the residents
Yeah.
and those plans abutting it. But like Ryan said, it's just like a review process this year. There's no construction or anything. So it'll be brought before council for next year's budget to include money in the budget for next year for actual construction.
Yeah.
Some of
If
that
we get that
property is
far.
not,
If we get
Yeah,
that far.
if we even get that far.
oh, and we would like to bring our concerns before you get that far. You know, it just seems to make sense that if you don't have, the property is not all owned by Hampton in the proposed yellow grid that we saw, drawing that we saw with all the little accent points on it. So it's property owned by the towers, it's property owned green space back behind Winmont Farms, back behind Lakewood, back behind Graphic. You know, it's not all Hampton property, so we just would like to bring our concerns so that we take care of it.
And
So to follow up on her question, so this, where they are doing the study, it includes non-Hampton property?
There's like one section of the Weep property at the end, close to where Hampton Place and the Winmont Farms, that we have not reached out to the Weep property yet to see if they would give us an easement for it, like a recreational easement or something like that. Like I said, we do not have drawings yet, so we have not approached them for it. But that's the only property that is, or that section of the trail that would be on somebody else's property. The township owns the open space all around that, other than when you get to that section. So it wouldn't be on Hampton Place property or Winmont property. Township owns the
And I
property.
would encourage everyone to let Gateway complete their work so that they can determine a trail path that takes into account terrain,
Yes.
things like that, property ownership, like, wait until there's an actual plan that is somewhat formalized that you can comment on, because right now, we're dealing entirely conceptually.
Okay, but the property Hampton owns is shaped like an L, and it would be hard to get all the way around when you're shaped like an L.
It's shaped like a U, because we own property along that abuts Wicklow,
Whitline Road.
Field Acres.
It abuts those, but to get around the wheat property, you'd have to be in the backyards, in the green space that was allotted when those plans were put in. Because I was here for all those Winmont Farm property, and it's their green space, but maybe that's a very good question. When places like Winmont Farms were put in, and they had to have so much green space in the back and allotted in the trees, who owns that green space? Is that township property then, or is that owned by Winmont Farms? Like,
Yeah, I don't remember from that PRD, I mean,
well,
who's-
from anybody, like, you can see on the county maps their individual properties.
Yes.
And then there's this open space behind them, which was open space when you did it.
I'm gonna guess it's like the Winmont HOA if there is
Yeah,
one.
there's,
Yeah, the
there's-
HOA is gonna own that, but I have a map here.
yeah, Susan actually was going through the deeds for these properties this afternoon, so.
Let's see if it shows it. If you wanna come over here, I can show you.
I have sort of had it on my phone.
Like, this is Law, it says Lee Drive here, but that's
I
Law
understand.
Road, Lakeview Law. This is township property, and here's the Wheat property, and then this property along here is also township property.
What is this?
It doesn't show.
Whose is that? Because it looks to me, from the property lines, like this belongs to this development, and this property belongs to this development
All
in their
of them.
open space.
Those
This
woods
is-
right there, that's township property.
So where's this property's green space?
It's part of township owns it. If you go on Allegheny County's website and you look up that lot and block number for those woods, it's owned by Hampton Township
On this
It's
map,
open
where's the
space.
Windmont Farm?
up there.
And who is this?
That is, Field Acres is there.
Okay,
Right.
so who owns this property behind
Yeah,
Field Acres?
sorry.
Where is their green space?
That's open space.
Where, doesn't the open
It's
space
owned by the
belong to
township, though.
developers Who we had to go through all of this and find an open space for them? I'm just.
It's still open space, but it's
Yeah.
like I mean, it's not like it's being developed for homes or anything like that. It's a natural trail. As you said, is under the comprehensive plan, it identifies that area as a natural trail.
And you have some open spaces which are owned by the township and some that are owned by HOAs.
Yes.
It sort of depends on the developments at the time and how they went through the approval process.
So that depends on the development at the time as to whether the development owns it or whether Hampton owns
Yeah,
it, the open space.
whether an HOA is part of it, yes, yes.
I mean, I hear all your concerns. I think the point is, you know, they're looking at feasibility. So,
Yeah.
you know, when they know, oh, we can put it here and all that,
Yes.
then of course you'll be, you know, loop back in and
Sometimes those loop back ends after a lot of money is spent and a lot of planning is done and a
I
lot of other
understand.
people, and then I just feel like we don't want to get steamrolled. We don't want this process to be way far down the road. And when the property owners that are on the longest straightaway of the Hampton property, all 7 of us
Mhm.
don't want this in our yards. My front yard, their side yard, some of their backyards. Property that was, you know, promised that would never be done. And we don't want people walking that close to our house. We didn't buy houses in those developments because we didn't want to live like that. They have walking trails. I understand Windmont Farms has their own walking trail back there right now. You know, don't give them ours. If they can want to walk back there, they can walk back there now. There's nothing preventing them. People do it. So we just like to get in front of this instead of getting on the back end. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, and then we will go ahead and move on to administration. Item A, please.
Yes, as council's aware from our last discussion, the garbage contract is in the option year. Waste Management did come back, as we discussed at the last meeting, and offered to hold their rate for this year into 2027. Based on discussion with legal and where I'm kind of at, and some of the feedback I've gotten from some of you, and just our current situation, we're not recommending, what I would recommend is that we do bid our garbage contract out individually as Hampton Township. That I can't promise you everything will work perfectly or we will get the best price. I can promise you it will be a competitive process. And I'm open to, you know, if you all want to discuss that, we can certainly have that conversation. Because if not, I'll go through this very quickly again, just based on, you know, some of the feedback I got from all of you. But in terms of the construct of the bid that we're looking at, you know, we're going to assume stay with the automated collection, the 5-day schedule, everything with regard to recycling carts in terms of who, and garbage carts, how many people can buy in addition to the one they're granted, the size of the carts, who owns them and maintains them, the fact that new carts would be issued at the start of the contract, but we would continue a manual collection of yard waste, which is the 3rd week from April to November. The discounts would all stay the same. The billing would all stay the same. Every 3rd of the year, maintain the senior discount, the full pay in advance discount, and the snowbird discounts that currently exist. Bulk waste collection, so in talking with Susan and Michelle Nestor, who's helping us prepare this, and we're going to talk with her again on Friday, what we're going to do is do 2 base bids. Or 2 bids. One is base bid 1, which would have bulk items at the costs that are identified in other bids that you'll see next to this, $15 and $5 essentially. per month. And then another one that would keep our current, the other bid would keep, base bid 2 would keep our current format, which is one bulk item a month with that cost incorporated into the base bid. So you'll kind of be able to see what the price spread would be from sort of a pay-as-you-throw bulk collection versus keeping it in the base bid as is. That's kind of how we're going to do it. I think that gives you all some flexibility, and you get to see, what options are out there and what the cost difference would be. I think, again, the point I'm going to make with bulk collection is if you're not throwing something out once a year, you're subsidizing the service. So, go ahead. Yeah, the next one, this is the other option. Like I said, this will be base bid 1, and then base bid 2 would be our current option. That's what you see in Pine, Marshall, and Cranberry, where they identify small items, medium items, and then white goods, which are appliances. I would say, especially on the white good thing, generally speaking, when you buy a washer, they take your current washer. When you buy a dryer, they take your current dryer. I mean, I don't see a ton of dryers out at the curb for Hampton, but that's just me. Yeah.
You can also find recycle companies to pick
That,
those up.
and I know, Susan, there's appliance companies that we've recommended in the past, yeah. So, there's that. Next one. E-waste and household hazardous waste. We would do a quarterly e-waste program with established dates. I will say, Waste Management's At Your Door service is by far the best service they offer, but no one else offers a service like that where it's sort of on call. So that's how we would bid the e-waste and household hazardous waste programs. And then we do a base bid contract of 5 years, an option for a 5-year extension. I think as a block is probably the easiest way to do it. And the thing about that is you're matching the lifespan of the carts. The option year is entirely, after we reach 5 years, we could not take the option. I think the advantage of the option year that you would get is you get to see what the price increases would be, what the percentages, for our last 3 years of waste management, the costs were going to go up about 8%. You get to see the spread on that over the second 5 option years, and you can compare it 5 years from now to what you're seeing in garbage contracts in neighboring communities. So you would get that, you would have a sense of where the pricing is versus what they bid. It also matches the lifespan of the carts, which is really the most important thing. Because if you're bidding it every 5 years, you're giving the incumbent hauler a huge advantage because they don't have to put new carts out there and pay that cost, which probably close to $1 million, honestly. The vehicles, again, 1 year old, can't be more than 5. That's pretty standard. It's what you see in a lot of contracts. Compressed natural gas, that is pretty much every major hauler around here that I'm aware of uses CNG vehicles. And then we're using Nestor Resources. Again, Michelle Nestor, she writes garbage bids for pretty much, I think every garbage bid in this area has been something she at one time developed. So we're going to use her to help develop the bid package. We have another meeting with her on Friday. So that's kind of where we stand. I don't know if there's anyone has any strong feelings on.
I did have a question
Go
about
ahead.
the vehicles. So
Yes.
we're stating that the vehicles at the start of contract must all be under a year old.
Yes.
But that means that whoever bids on this has to have basically purchased an entire new fleet. And I know that we buy like one vehicle a year.
Yes.
So is that really, we're asking them to basically have an entirely brand-new fleet rather than replacing 20% of the fleet every 5 years?
Yes. And actually,
Is that reasonable?
Both two of the haulers I talked to said they could make that happen, and they actually recommended that. I think some of them buy these so much in bulk that they can get them far quicker,
The
And
cost.
we wouldn't be the only township that they're using, so they may have
No.
a 3-year-old fleet somewhere else.
yeah.
So they would use the newer ones for,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that's how they would cycle through
Yeah.
But they,
their vehicles.
And given the value of the
they
contract,
basically use the same vehicle for the entire township because they do it over 5 days. So they don't have to have,
yeah,
enough to do
It's true, I
the
forgot we
township in
spread
one
it out
day.
over all 5 days
Yeah.
instead of everybody being
Yeah.
collected on one day.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know if there's strong feelings on the waste management option year. I understand We've had some issues on the, I'm not gonna look in your direction, Susan, at all. I mean, you're giving me a dirty. But I know there have been some issues lately, especially on the customer service side that have caused a lot of frustration. But I also know that, bids are about pricing too. So, but I think going out on our own and seeing what we get as an individual municipality, I think it gives us the best opportunity. And I think the bid package we're putting together should be competitive. I can tell you, I'm in touch with Ross Township's manager. They're bidding out their garbage as well. We're going to time it so we don't conflict with one another. So Jessica has been really great to speak with and very helpful to kind of bounce ideas off of. So, yes, with all that said, I would recommend authorizing advertisement of bids on the garbage and recycling contract. We are planning to open bids in mid-April and hopefully have a recommendation for you, God willing, by the regular meeting in April.
And the COG has definitely said they are not
Yes.
doing this collectively for the current municipalities.
Yes. Yeah. We just met with them yesterday to discuss salt. I was going to report on that in a bit, but in that meeting, they basically said they're out of the garbage business. So, yes.
Do we have any indicative pricing of where these bids will come in? Just higher, lower, comparable? I know we've gone through a bunch of inflationary periods and
Yeah.
it's not a fair comparison to where we sit now, but is there anything?
I can tell you the bid pricing for our neighbors in Richland and Pine and Marshall is lower contract-wise than what we're paying. Now bear in mind, their collection's a little different than us, so it's not always apples to apples. I think what hurt us being in that COG contract is there was only one firm that could bid.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. There's no competition.
at least
so.
having competition, I think you're going to get a more, I would like to think you're going to get a better price and a better product, but I make no,
We're not going to go through this process and double our price.
No, I don't anticipate that, and I wouldn't, if I got the sense of that, I would come back
Yeah.
and report to you immediately, but I don't get that impression.
Okay.
I don't know, if you have anything, well, I know if you had anything you wanted to add, because I know, yeah.
All right, any other questions or concerns? All right, then can I get a motion to authorize the manager to advertise for bids on the garbage and recycling collection contract?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shorley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, item B, please.
This is just a reimbursement agreement with North Hills Community Outreach. We received a grant of $145,000 for them to buy another senior shuttle. This is simply the agreement allowing that money to flow to them. So I'd recommend approval of a cooperation agreement with NHCO.
Anyone have any questions or concerns? All right, then can I get a motion to approve a cooperation agreement with the North Hills Community Outreach to facilitate disbursement of a statewide local share account grant per the manager's memo dated February 2nd?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shorley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Item C.
Similar to item B, this is an agreement with the Hampton Volunteer Fire Company just to facilitate disbursement of a $200,000 grant we received from the state for them to purchase a new aerial fire truck.
And any questions or concerns about this one? Then can I get a motion to approve a cooperation agreement with Hampton's Volunteer Fire Department to facilitate disbursement of a statewide local share account grant, also per the manager's memo dated February 2nd?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shorley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, item D is the North Hills COG report, but the executive board did not meet in February, so I will defer to the manager.
Yes, Susan and I met as part of the rock salt committee. That their bid for that is the COG bid for that is going out in May or June. It was a very productive meeting. I think we made some changes to the bid that hopefully entice some additional bidders. Current hauler has given us some frustration as of late in terms of deliveries, and I think that was the majority of discussion at that meeting. But yeah, we've made some changes that I think to the bid that will make it a bit more enticing.
All right, any questions? Water Authority monthly report. Anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Engineers monthly report.
Nothing to add.
Legal counsel monthly report.
I have nothing to add to my written report.
Controller's monthly report.
Well, very, very, very little. Just to note that January is the township's most expensive month for a number of reasons, where we had about $3 million worth of expenses this month. If you had that every month, that'd be $36 million. That's not quite where our budget's at. But a big part of that is the annual debt payment, which is due at the first of the year, and that's 1.4 plus million. Additionally, the funding for the health savings accounts and the police uniform allowance and salt as an individual item are other major expenses that just hit in that month of January. So it adds up a bit. If you looked at it compared to last year, it's about $150,000 higher this year. We also have the impact of the salaries, new wages being affected except for the police because the contract's still open, so they stayed the same. And then you had the health insurance that had the premium increases that were realized this year. So outside of that, we're in good financial shape. And fortunately, we have some reserve to be able to dip into, as we will need to go well over the salt budget for the year at some point in time. Questions?
Yes. All right, Information Technology monthly report.
Nothing to add.
Okay, I would just like to add that once again, council was on the low end of actually completing the training and on the higher end of falling for phishing attempts. So I would encourage you to do the training for cybersecurity.
Yeah.
All right, I have nothing to add to the monthly library report, unless there are questions.
Happy I'm sitting over here.
Well, you're included in that. I just
It wasn't me.
I don't think I got fish this time. But I
right.
probably also didn't complete
I
the
do the
training.
exact same training at work. I just give you my certificate. It's by the same company. It's the same
do the
training.
same
Really, I got to sit there for another 30 minutes and answer those same 10 questions. Really?
Well, I guess it depends if you were one of the ones who fell for the phishing
I don't think
attempt.
I was I don't think I fell for phishing.
All right.
Let me talk to Earl.
All right. Anything else for Ad?
The only thing I forgot to add, this is the first meeting for Aaron Blackwell, our new land use administrator, so everyone give Aaron a warm welcome.
Welcome. Nice to have you on board.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant to do that at the start. I apologize. I'm done now.
All right. Public safety, please.
I have nothing to add to the report.
All right. EMS report, please.
I, of course, might have a couple of things. So I did distribute my report ahead of time as far as data goes. For the month in the township of Hampton, we did 153 calls. That's a decrease of 18 versus the previous year. Total calls for the month, 591. That's a decrease of 68. Total patients transported, 431. That's a decrease of 34. So we'll see how we fare in February, and that's obviously issues beyond our control. A couple other things. Any questions about the data that follow behind the slides, anything like that? Okay. And then just a couple of updates. If you are a subscriber and we have your email address, you received an email saying subscriptions are coming up. People participate in that. We really appreciate it because then we don't bother you with the mail and are able to save those costs and so forth. We've got a great response so far from that. Probably in about 2 weeks, you'll see the mailing at your house. If you don't have your email address, you can respond to the email. We don't have any change in subscription costs this year. It is $40 for an individual, $60 for a family, and $80 for Family Plus. So the difference between Family and Family Plus just is if you have any visitors at your home, you're having a party, whatever, and somebody needs an ambulance, then they'll be covered by the subscription as well. One thing to point out, and this is a very sad state of affairs, but out of all of our control, seniors now, the population we take care of the most, we worry about the most from a financial perspective, pay more for an ambulance than Medicare does. Their out-of-pocket is $270. Our reimbursement received for a Medicare ambulance trip is about $450 total, with $270 coming from the patient. So that's a very unfortunate reality, and that's regardless of if you have one of the Medicare Plus plans, no matter who's providing it. So look for that, and of course we appreciate the support. We are going through a process right now. We're finishing the second week. We're evaluating new cardiac monitors, and super excited about that. There's two newer monitors on the market: the Zoll Xenix, which brings some, and the other is the Stryker LifePak 35. Both bring some great new technology to our patients, ability to assess and treat, and really coach through the process when we're dealing with patients with CPR and patients who are ventilating. Can't breathe on their own and things. Really is some phenomenal technology, but it comes at a fairly significant cost. The cost for the 6 devices we need is about $400,000. So, but our staff, we're 2 weeks with the Zoll Xenix, and this coming Monday morning we'll change into the LifePak 35 and trial that for 2 weeks. And every use, our staff's giving feedback on their experience, what they liked, what they didn't like, all those kind of things, so we can have good information, make a decision moving forward. We just completed our quarterly training, which we did with Ross Westview, so it's all day Friday and all day Sunday, and all staff has to attend one day or the other. And I say that after the monitor position, because Hampton Fire Department helped us out immensely. We used their station on Duncan Avenue for the monitor training, for our training days, and for what we'll do Monday morning as well. So those folks always support us. We really appreciate it. Give them introduced to the space. And then last, because he knows a good time, we want to welcome Jerry back to our board of directors. And I say that really enthusiastically. He's a guy that really focuses on our finances, helps immensely over the years of kind of how we understand and project and report. And it's been very helpful, so happy to have him back. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
I love the goatee look. Looks good.
You know, it's a failure. I started this on vacation. It was the year to take my daughter who's getting married in June, and she's not upset, so I'll keep it a while longer.
You said, did I hear you right, that each one of those devices they're like $60,000?
$65,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? What is it? Like, what is it? What
Well,
makes
so
it that
it's-
expensive?
You know, when I started in this business, we used the LifePak 5. They were about $5,000. What it did is a 1-lead EKG, and it had a defibrillator built into it. These devices now do 12-lead EKGs, 4-lead EKGs, so we can diagnose patients having heart attacks. They're an AED themselves. They're a defibrillator. They're a pacemaker. And they take all this stuff. We can actually connect now to hospitals, and they can see live time what's going on from the monitor. I can pull it up on my phone and see what's going on a call.
Was this similar to the AEDs you were talking about a little while ago?
Very.
I know this is way above and beyond.
Yeah, the AEDs are public use devices, you know, that are about 2 pounds and cost about $2,000.
I didn't know if they were working on the same platforms, so that they
different manufacturers, but many of the things, and really and a lot of it's education in the back end. So if we work a cardiac arrest and we use a Lucas device that does compressions, we're ventilating the patient, we're doing CPR, we're giving medications. It tracks all of that and shows you how effective your CPR was, how effective your ventilations were, how long you stopped CPR to move a patient. All of those things are critical factors in cardiac arrest survival. So it really does, you know, the way it shocks a person is the same it always has, but the way it tracks it and reports it and coaches is immensely different.
Do you need less other pieces of equipment on the truck then?
I'm sorry?
Do you need less other equipment on the truck then?
No.
Is it?
Wishful thinking, no.
No, we do not. So but this is a 10-year lifespan on this piece of equipment. The ones we're replacing, we have 2 Series 1s that if they break, they can't fix them. And we've actually got 12 years. It's 10 years minimum, you know, maybe more. So these ones we're replacing now, some of them are 12 years old. So it is expensive, but it's not a regularly replaced piece of equipment.
How often is one used in a day or a week, typically?
Almost every call. it's a very rare exception. We're not using some part of it. It also does vital signs, so there's a pulse oximeter, a blood pressure cuff, all those kind of things, records them along with everything else we do. So it's a very rare circumstance we don't use it in some capacity. Any other questions?
Find some grant money.
Well, we looked for grant money a lot, and we did just get an unexpected ambulance we had to purchase, and we got $220,000 with a $270,000 cost covered for that. That'll be our 5th ambulance we've bought in the last 5 years, and 3 of the 5 of them were grant funded, so we're pretty happy about that for sure. We always follow the grants. Any other questions or thoughts?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. Chief, anything else for public safety?
There's nothing else.
All right, community services, please.
Thank you. As part of the 2026 road resurfacing program, as I mentioned in my February 18th memo, bids were open on February 17th. There are 3 contracts in this year's program. 4 companies submitted bids, and all 3 contracts, the lowest bidder was Shields Asphalt Paving, for a total combined of $1,010,000, $10,780. Of those bids that were received, as I mentioned in my memo also, Ridgeway Drive, we had a storm sewer project there last year which affected a significant portion of 1 lane of that roadway. We weren't able to pave it last year. So of that, this year's bids, $10,687 will be paid out of our stormwater budget. And then Lawrence Avenue, which is next to Wyland Elementary School, there was a major water break there that had severely affected that road. And that total amount in this contract is $18,682.50. We're waiting to hear back from the Water Authority to see if they're interested in piggybacking this program. If not, then they're gonna find another contractor to take care of that. But they would have to follow the specs that Gateway had provided. That being the case, I am recommending all 3 contracts be awarded to Shields Asphalt Paving in accordance with my recommendation in the memo.
Anyone have any questions?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, then can I get a motion to award contracts regarding the 2026 road resurfacing program as follows? Contract A in the amount of $351,270. Contract B, $538,660. Contract C, $120,850, all to Shields Paving per the recommendation from the Assistant Township Manager in the memo dated February 18th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Thank you.
Item B.
Good evening. This is the request for release of funds for the Hampton Pool repairs in the capital funds budget for $65,000. I do want to note that $70,000 was budgeted in the initial budgeting plan. This is to replace the HVAC unit that involves the concession stand and the condenser unit that's outside, as well as the controls within that building. Currently, the current system and the controls are about 75 disconnected and bypassed. So a lot of the outside dampers, temp sensors are really not functioning properly in that way. So the air handler unit and the condenser will be replaced by Huckenstein Mechanical for $45,500 and change. And the controls will be done by OZ Enterprises, which has our current building automation system for $17,800. So it leaves roughly like $1,600 and change for contingency, which the only thing I foresee is some minor ductwork additions to it, just from the new unit to what the old unit's coming out at.
Anyone have any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to authorize the release of funds for the Hampton Pool Handling Unit Replacement Project through the Capital Improvement Fund budget in the amount of $65,000 per the Facility Director's memo dated February 3rd?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Item C, please.
This is the request to release capital funds budget for the community center community center elevator door operator upgrade. This is in the amount of $14,500. The budgeted amount was $15,000, but there's no need to have a contingency on this. Schindler Elevator, which is our service repair company that does the preventative maintenance on it. It's just a basic door operator that has passed inspection on its recent one, but is noted to not pass on the next one. It's a code violation. So this will just be an integrated door operator drive to replace the current one that's a controller and motor. So the unit's just integrated realistically. So yeah, Schindler Elevator will do this work in the amount of $14,500.
Any questions?
That's not, how do I want to say, it's not a visual component, it's not the doors, it's the motor, so it's
Yes.
not anything
Internal.
anybody's gonna see.
No, nobody
It's
will see it.
internal.
Internal operation.
It's the mechanism.
Yes.
Any other questions? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the upgrade to the community center elevator door through the capital improvement fund budget in the amount of $14,500 per the facility director's memo dated February 3rd?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
favor,
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, Public Works and Parks and Recreation monthly reports. Anything to add?
I have nothing else unless anybody has any questions.
Does not appear so. Thank you. Environmental Services, please.
Thank you, Madam President. This evening, the manager and I are recommending approval for change orders from Calista Electric for the wastewater treatment plant project. This is from 3 change orders, 44, 45, and 49, totaling $70,276.
Does anyone have any questions or concerns about these?
what's the over-under on change orders for the rest of 2026?
From Calista, I don't
Hopefully
think many.
very
I'd be shocked if
There's
there's,
gotta be a
very little.
few, if any, right?
from Calista, I'd be shocked if there's any. I don't really see any coming from Mealy. There is still one outstanding from KLH, a request that we'll entertain next month, but that's it. So,
We are getting close to the end.
Yeah.
So that's obviously our goal, to keep it to minimum.
yeah. And 2 weeks ago, I did tell you my recommendation would be dependent on how much progress they've made. I give Calista a lot of credit. They've really put in the effort down there. They've been kind of hamstrung by some other contractors, unfortunately, but they're making significant progress. So I would, similar to Mr. Degnan, I would recommend approval of those change orders.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the following change orders from Calista? Change order 44 in the amount of $16,380 for power and data to the temporary trailer, or change order 45, $8,896 for feeder conduits and cable for the trailer relocation, and 45,000 for general conditions, equipment, and tools required to continue working past the original contract end date.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
You're allowed to say begrudgingly favor if you want.
Begrudgingly
I think I
favor.
did.
You're allowed to
Did
say
I?
that.
I think everyone kind of implied that.
Yeah.
All right, item B, please.
This evening, we're recommending approval for the Hampton wastewater treatment plant's digester building air compressor exhaust system project per my memo, January 29th.
Anyone have any questions about this item? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the digester air compressor exhaust project at the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $33,700 from the sewer bond funds with Huckenstein Mechanical per the Environmental Service Director's memo dated January 29th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. And-
99.9%,
I'm sorry?
99.9% will resolve the problem.
We certainly hope so.
That doesn't sound like 99.9% confidence.
Jerry, I'll make
We'll,
you.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how it pans out. It's gonna be an incredible improvement, but until we have it installed and operational, we really don't know the ultimate effect.
And until it gets much warmer.
Yeah, we need to see the hot summer temperatures with it running to see how it'll function. So, we believe this is the best approach.
I'm losing my memory, Jim. What happened with the, it was backed into?
Yeah, I was thinking about the
Yeah,
same.
the
What
damage
happened
to
with that?
The digester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still on the checklist for Amelia to have completed. So
Okay.
leaking has stopped on its natural process, but it still needs to be repaired.
Okay.
And we have asked them to have as much lead time as possible. We have to drain that tank. I mean, it is 500,000 gallons, so we have to drain that tank and process it and get it cleaned before they can actually do the repair work. So,
Huh.
And
lots of
we-
fun ahead.
Yes, we should start thinking about a tour for council and other interested members of the township. Do you have a good idea of when maybe we could do that? Preferably when it's not 20 degrees or 90 degrees?
20 below zero. Whatever's best for all of you.
Yeah. Whatever works for all of you. Sometime in May would probably be ideal. Just get us outside of April.
All right, so take a look at your calendars and at the strategic planning session, let's try to pick a date for a tour of the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
All right, Jim, anything else?
That's all I have unless there are questions.
All right, zoning and planning, please.
We
Or are you
received,
gonna handle it?
Coleen's gonna handle this one, but you're on the hook, you're on the hook for next month. Next month,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, we'll cut you a little bit of slack.
all right, we received 4 new land development applications for this month. 3 of them are in conjunction with the 7 Brew Coffee Shop drive-through that will be in the existing Simply Subs location. The first one is for conditional use, as it is a drive-through, it does require a conditional use. The second one is for the lot consolidation. There is a 0.2 acre piece of vacant land that is adjacent to that. That'll be consolidated with the main lot. And then the second one is for the actual land development for the demolition of the Simply Subs and the construction of the new building. Those will go in front of Planning Commission in March, and then in front of council in April, and that includes the public hearing for the conditional use. And then the last one is for 2330 Wildwood Road, change of use. This was the old automated systems warehouse. This will still be like manufacturing, but since it has been vacant for over a year, they need to go through the change of use process. This one does have a 45-day limit, so this one will be reviewed by council next month.
Anyone have any questions?
Simply Subs demolition, is that the full building, or they're
Correct.
taking the whole thing down?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
7 Brew, I believe they assemble their
Okay.
buildings off-site and literally just drop it on.
What, like 500 square feet?
Yeah.
not-
Yeah, it's
like-
it's like a shed.
Yeah.
Like the bean through, kind of?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
With a much longer driveway.
because this is very popular. There's one
Teenagers are
in,
excited.
there's
Yeah.
one
My
in
daughter
Kent,
keeps asking
and
already.
it's usually very, 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 very busy.
I think there's one in
That'll help the,
State College.
Yeah.
There's one in Moon right now, too.
Yeah.
that'll help
And
the line at
there's-
Starbucks.
Somehow my 14-year-old knows, oh, the closest one is Moon. I was like, I don't know why you know that.
Well, there you go. We couldn't get him at Chick-fil-A, but here we go.
I think there's one.
All right, can I get a motion to refer the following to the appropriate boards and commissions? The 7 Brew conditional use, lot consolidation, and preliminary final land development, and the 2330 Wildwood Road change of use application.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, item B, please.
In conjunction with the proposed zoning ordinance updates, the EAC was permitted to have up to 2 of their members elected to the planning commission. So they did appoint Jane Hallinan to pull double duty and do EAC and PC.
Any questions?
Lucky woman, huh?
Yeah.
Play the lottery.
All right, can I get a motion to appoint Jane Hallinan as representative from the EAC to the Planning Commission? for
So
the-
moved.
Second.
That was fast, roll call.
I haven't done one yet today. I was like, it's about time.
She didn't even finish.
She said, move, didn't she?
I did.
Didn't you?
I said so moved, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
You're speeding this up, Dan.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
I was gonna do that.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, anything to add to the monthly report?
No.
All right, old business.
The Easter egg hunt and community cleanup day are coming. Cleanup day, it does not conflict with ALOM. I know you're ecstatic. It
Yes.
is later than we typically do it though, so.
Which
there's that.
hopefully means we won't have 6 inches of snow like we did the one year. Hopefully we won't have rain like we've had many other years. Okay, well, all right, where's wood? That's real, all right.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful day. Everybody should be involved.
And I would just note that our next regular meeting will be up at the community center for the public hearing on the proposed zoning ordinance and subdivision and land development ordinance, and that our joint school district school board meeting is set for May 6th at the community center as well.
All right, new business.
Don't hate me.
Go ahead.
I have something. So
You're allowed to have
I
something
know,
for
but
new
anyways,
business.
it could have been an email. That's where my head's at. So I'm just going to apologize in
it's that
advance
kind
on
of
this one. But I did have a resident ask me yesterday, late afternoon, or I would have probably emailed it. So she's in a neighborhood in Hampton, and she has noticed that one of her neighbors is like running like a car rental business out of his house. So there's this company called Turo, Turo. And it's and so she was just curious to know if there's any kind of like limitation or permit that's required to do something like this, because her other concern is that she just kind of thinks the whole thing is not conducive to the neighborhood.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't sound like an approved use
You could just rent out
of
your
a
car?
home-based
Is that
business.
what that is?
They literally have 3. They have 3 cars, and they're renting them out, and people come to the house and they rent the car.
Well, how do
and
they get to the house?
Uber and stuff?
They're given the address, so it's similar to like Uber or Lyft, but you actually like pick a car. You don't pick the person, and you're given the address, and then you come and you pick up the car. And typically, it's a way if you have like an extra car to kind of like it's like Airbnb for cars. essentially.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly the terminology she used. It's absolutely like somebody's side hustle. And she's really concerned because they had 2 cars, and apparently they're buying a 3rd car because, it's thriving. And she just feels like, really, can you do this in our neighborhood?
So this is like becoming like the same way that Airbnbs were, originally not an issue, but then became an issue. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's actually.
Do they have a garage they're keeping it in? Because home businesses, you have to, it's like 20% of your primary dwelling, and like the foot
She
traffic's
didn't
restricted and-
specify. I mean, you're not supposed to park on the street in the neighborhood, but she did admit that all the neighbors park on the street. So it's not like this particular house is doing anything that the other neighbors, aren't doing. But yeah.
Are the rates cheaper than Enterprise?
Well,
It's
it's like if you don't have good enough credit
It's one of
or
those
something.
algorithm-based things, and it's
Yeah.
all dependent on like supply and demand. So like if I've used it a few times, that's why I'm familiar with it. But like
In Hampton?
At the That's how we got here.
But
Yeah.
if you, let's say, for example, just have to go out of town last minute, and you can like if the Enterprise, or the traditional rental car companies are just like really absurd, you can go on Turo and you can just see like, oh, well, this person, they're only like, maybe like 10 minutes away from the airport or something, and I can just Uber there and then pick up and have a car. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's dynamic pricing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so the prices do vary. But it sounds like someone maybe kind of stretching the limit of like,
She kind of feels like that, yeah. And so that's what she was asking me, isn't there a rule for this? And I said, well, I'll find out.
wonder if that changes their insurance. I have so many.
I'm sure it
You have
does.
so many questions.
So
If you can send us the address, we'll
Look into it.
Look
investigate.
into it. Okay.
And we'll
Thank-
probably see Julie down there renting a car. by 9 a.m. tomorrow.
I am good.
I've heard of it more for exotics.
Yeah.
Like people, you could rent a Ferrari or a Porsche or whatever. I didn't know. I guess it's becoming more mainstream to the point.
Wow.
That's
I
amazing.
think it started out as a way to, if you had exotic cars, you could, rent and drive a Corvette or a Porsche or whatever.
If I can
Nobody
afford
wants
an
to drive
exotic
my,
car, I don't want
my
anybody else driving
2017
it.
Acadia.
Possibly.
Possibly, actually, yes.
All right.
Apparently.
Price is right.
Anyone else have any new business?
That's all I have.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Interesting.
All right.
You're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening.
Learn something new every day. I was at
She
one
is.
of my
I like her.
cookies last night, and they have people